to go down.
What's up?
Greetings.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
So you say I'm in literate? That's what you talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Do you know two languages though?
No, I only know one.
So that make you more illiterate than me then. See, you busy with a smart man, but my brother. You know what
True.
I'm saying? And then we
Facts.
can we can we can get into whatever topic you want to get in onto flat Earth and the globe because I'm ready. That's
Are
all I'm
you?
gonna say. Yep, I'm ready. So, are you a globalist or you're a flat earther?
I think the Earth is a globe.
So, why do you think it's a globe?
I think if you go over all
Huh?
the evidence points towards the Earth being a globe.
Okay, so what's the evidence that you got that the Earth is a globe?
It's a globe. Like the fact that on the horizon objects get obstructed from the bottom of.
That doesn't necessarily mean does not necessarily mean it's a globe because that could be explained as a mirage. Do you understand what a mirage is?
Yes.
Okay, so that could be explained it like that. See, when you have um two different points of view of how things work, now you can see better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You cannot just take something that somebody else tell you and run with it. You have to do your own experiment. You know what I mean?
But
Now if you have like I always say, if you have a telescope powerful enough that can see over 8 miles, I bet you will see the sun. I bet you whatever number of money you will see the sun. Because if you can follow that chip all the way down to the curve and it don't disappear, what makes you think that the sun is going to disappear from the curve, from the horizon? And it's a horizon for a reason, man. There is not called curve horizon. It's a horizon.
right.
They do all this semantic. This is not from now. You know what I mean? This is from 7,000 years ago. Okay, this started 7,000 years ago. This decision this time right now, and what they doing is just bringing a bunch of other religions on top of the religion so they can keep covering the truth. And the kids won't understand what flat Earth really is. You understand that?
Yeah, we're definitely indoctrinated and lied to and
Right,
propaganda and all that. Yeah, it's
right. So you understand where I'm coming from, right?
sure.
Okay, so give me another example that you think. Well, what you think the Earth is a globe?
Well, we can see farther when we increase our altitude. You can see more land and stuff.
But but that doesn't necessarily mean again is a globe because there is. That's what I'm saying. There's mountains. You know what I'm saying. The mountains can be just put in a flat surface, and you can see on top of the flat surface. That will actually prove it more in a flat Earth than in a globe. Because if you're in a higher altitude, that means you cannot see further from where the because the globe is curving. You hear me?
Right,
It's
but
curving. So why would you? So why can't you see further
so you
if
just
it's
said
curving?
you just said the horizon is like a mirage, right?
Right.
So if it's just a mirage and an optical illusion, then why would the horizon increase in distance if I increase in altitude? That
You
doesn't.
say you say what?
If the horizon is an optical illusion mirage, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then increasing my altitude in the air would not increase the distance that I can see the horizon. It doesn't make sense if it's a mirage.
You, uh,
It only makes sense on a spherical object.
but how does it make sense when the curve is curving the whole Earth? Is bending the whole Earth. So how can you see further? That means you probably gonna be seeing into into a different. The mirage don't work in high altitude because you remember your eyes are perceiving that. You know what I'm saying? The mirage don't work in a high altitude like that. When you get into a mountain, you can really see further than what you really need to see in the flat Earth, in a globe Earth. I mean,
So the problem is like as you increase in altitude, like you see farther the horizon, and it's like the math. It's a mathematical. I don't know. I can't explain it very well because math is not my thing, but it's mathematically consistent with the globe. And another thing with math is that navigation, right? Like people navigate constantly, and their navigation is based on the Earth being a
okay,
globe.
when was the last time? When was the last time that a boat circumnavigates the globe?
I wouldn't. I don't know.
Yep, that's where I taught you. 1980. Listen, you can look it up. I think if I'm not mistaken, in 1967 or something, it was a whole ship that his whole the whole purpose was to circumnavigate the planet. So how can you circumnavigate the planet in a boat having so many barriers and mountains? See, they missing a lot of things from the earth that we live in right now, and the map is not right, bro. It's just not, it's so many suspicious things going on.
If we're lied to about the map and like the shape of the Earth, then people will get lost trying to navigate. You know, if you try to go from America to New Zealand on the opposite side of the planet, and you think the Earth is a globe, but it's really flat, you're never gonna like get to your
Hey, can you guys
location.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear
Hey,
you.
bro,
What's
I
up?
want to tell you something a little bit about my observations, what I did. Uh, Number one, you don't see that far every day, whether it's a globe or whether it's flat. And when you can see very far away, it means that there's no horizon. Because what happened is, for example, I noticed that I can see this landmark at 30 miles away from sea level. And I pay attention to the specific landmark, stationary landmark. Between me and the stationary landmark, there's a body of water, the Pacific Ocean. So that area, what I'm looking at for the entire year, it is actually only 37 feet high, according to topographical maps. So that means on a specific day, especially when it's cold and in the morning, you can see that far away. So a lot of people that are defending the globe are calling that a mirage or refraction. But it's just like saying when a car goes on the other side of the bridge and the bridge has a little bulge, so as it goes on the other side of the bulge, you don't see it anymore. And what they're saying is that sometimes the weather or the light will bring back the car that went on the other side of the hill, and that is absolutely nonsensical. When you see that far away, that means the formula that they're giving us, 8 inches per mile square, is wrong. That's
Yeah,
all I want to say about that.
but we know light bends, so I don't know. I think it's a
Yeah,
plausible.
but what I'm saying is in the experiment of a car going on the other side of the hill. For example, you're on the highway, and you see cars going on the other side of the hill, and if you continue driving, you're also going to go on the other side of the hill. But if you stay there and wait for a car to reappear a whole year, the car will never reappear, no matter what light comes in, no matter what the date. It doesn't matter. It's a physical hill hiding the car. No light, nothing is gonna bring it back.
Right. I
That's
see
what
what
I'm
you're saying.
saying.
that was a good. That was actually a good explanation, man.
I think like they wouldn't lie to us about the shape of the earth. I think we make better slaves to them if we know the shape. Because I don't see how we can navigate. You know, they want us to like move around the earth and do work for them, so we have to know the shape. You know, because you
Yeah.
can't. If you don't know the shape of something, how are you gonna? Wouldn't you get lost if you're?
No,
Well,
for
that's what
example,
this is what happened. This is let me explain real quick. This is what the purpose of the GPS is. Okay, if you look at ancient map, the ancestor didn't have no no shit. The word came. Fuck, I forgot my bad. No satellite. Okay, they didn't have no satellite, no technology. Right?
Yeah.
They were so smart that they could draw an accurate map of the place they were in. One of the maps that was impressed me the most was Toro Island. These indigenous people could draw America almost as accurate as it is right now without no technology. That means they have a sense of direction. And when you have a sense of direction, it's really hard for people to deceive you. Now we got deep GPS. You don't need no sense of direction. You just need that motherfucking computer to tell you where you're going. See that?
hey brother, you brought a great point, man, because they did also
Oh, come
put
on,
us
bro.
in a calendar where they're giving us a sense that they can change time too. For example, if you pay attention to the lunar calendar, which is a more perfect calendar, they will never be able to inject any date that they want, like the Gregorian calendar, and switch days. This is a year so and so. They make proclamations, like they're in charge of the time too. So they're in charge of the land masses where the land is, so they can hide more land from us, and they can hide also timelines, so they can steal your inheritance. Because we're born here to have a actually a dynasty, to create, to remember your grandparents, to create history. You're not just here to come here and get abused and get pimped at the system. That's all I want to say about that.
I guess the homie left. Yeah, you're right. They definitely lie to us about history because like helps control us, right?
All of us right now that you will live in, we're not supposed to be paying rent. We were all supposed to be inheritors. All share the land on the flat earth. There's no need for wars and conflicts like that. We're born to go visit each other. We're born to help each other. We're born to learn from each other. We're not born to kill each other. We're born to sing music for each other, to
True.
heal each other,
To dance. We're
to
supposed to.
dance.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. Um, but they got us in this like fucked up fantasy to keep up with the Joneses and all this.
Right.
We're on this
I was reading some books about
rat race.
the actual how was it in before the 1800s. There were different races. There were blacks were being lawyers, doctors, having getting married with white women, very normal, and then they start demonizing that type of behavior, where they start bringing hardcore religions and borders, nations, and all of that shit, to separate us, to make us fear from each other, and to demonize our our nature.
Yeah, they definitely like divide and conquer. But we do it to ourselves. We like form these little groups, and then we think the other group's our group is the good guys and the other group's the bad guys, and
Hmm.
so I think the people in power, they understand human nature and human psychology very well, and they like play us off each other. So that's how they rule us, right? They maintain power.
Damn, my bad. I had a call, man.
Right
I was
on.
actually, I was actually trying to hear what the earth the other brother had to say about.
Oh, the how they inject new timelines.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
Uh-oh.
See, one of the
Very
things
good.
that they don't want you to know
We're gonna
about
get porn
the
bombed.
flat stationary Earth is because on a flat stationary Earth there are cycles, repetition, daily cycles of the sun, the moon,
I'm a vegan.
weekly
Who's
cycles.
Sally?
What's that?
Who's Sally?
Sally, I don't know.
What's up, Sally?
I'm a vegan.
Is that
Oh,
Steve?
there we go. That's great, man. But sometimes I'm changing, I'm switching little by little to vegan, and and I still sometimes I'm craving a nice piece of steak, man.
Wait, you think vegan is the best diet or something?
I think people claim that they can live without eating. The breatharians. Have you heard about those guys?
Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't really believe that though.
I met a guy that did that for 4 years,
Yeah.
and then he went back to a little bit of meat and vegetarian because he really messed himself up.
Well, this is the thing too. Like we going back because I love ancient history, right? This is where I get almost all my information from. When we was living off the land, we knew what was bad and what was not bad. You hear me? Meaning that when we leave our grid and we had to feed ourselves of fruits and vegetables, we know what fruits and vegetables to eat and to plant. Then after that, people start getting niggas start getting like carnivores and start eating animals because they see animals eat each other. You know what I'm saying? So tell me this: if you are not a vegan, right? Because I'm not saying I'm not being fake because I'm not a vegan fully yet, but why don't we eat the meat raw just like the animals in the jungle? If we fully
Because we're not supposed to. I did an experiment like that where I needed to be isolated in a place where there was food, animals, but only growing on the ground. So when you're really hungry and you need some meat, and you get your rifle and you point at a little rabbit, they're so cute. You don't have the guts to kill them, and then you go back to eating vegetables. It's really amazing. Where a little Brussels sprouts gives you more energy to run an extra 10 miles. So also the meat and all of that, it's more like a sacrifice. You don't really have to sacrifice somebody to have the energy to kick ass.
Yeah, but if we read Agenda 21, they're trying to make it so we don't eat meat, which would be like back in the day when the peasants couldn't really afford meat, although they could eat fish. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta put in there. Remember, not all vegetables are good vegetables. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, GMOs.
Right.
Okay, but like,
we probably there is. Do you there's my girl's studying like herbalism and all that. Do you know there is a herb that will deteriorate your whole organs in less than 5 minutes if you eat it?
Holy shit.
Because it have an antibody that will like melt the whole flesh. You know what I'm saying?
Dissolve,
So,
yeah.
so there's some plants that we should not be eating, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's right. You
so,
gotta know.
uh,
Oh, I want to mention something about it. Have you ever heard of the vegetable lamb of Tartaria?
No.
no, I never heard of that.
Okay, this is imagine, picture this. You go north, the further north you go, there's more magnetic. Your compass tells you where that place is. But that's where there are bigger trees and everything. And they even have an example in Britain about this plant that they went to the north and they found this vegetable plant. It was like a tree that had little bulbs and little lambs were coming out of that tree that can walk. As soon as they hit the ground, they could walk little by little. These plants, so it's called the vegetable lamb of Tartarian.
Man, I'm about to look that up.
Yeah, vegetable plant of Tartarians. Yeah.
Where do they plant it? Do you know the locate like the
Well,
place?
see, what happened is we have maps in the 1600s, 1700s. That's the latest that they have these maps about more land around the magnetic North Pole.
Right.
And so, so I have probably that was the beginning of everything, or there's just more land with different fauna or trees that we never seen
Hmm.
that they just erased from history, basically. Like,
Hmm.
for example, there's a manuscript that they don't know how to decipher
Hmm.
that has a lot of plants that we never seen. They describing plants and how to plant them, how to propagate them, how to take care of them. And
Do
so
you,
there is hidden land that we don't know.
do you know that they came in with a study that say mushrooms were cured cell membrane?
How's that? I'm sorry.
Um, do you heard about this study that they came out right now? They say LSD and mushrooms will regenerate 100% of a membrane.
Yes, mushrooms are amazing. I think mushrooms started a lot of religious beliefs.
Hmm. Damn, you right. You right, because when you start hallucinating, you
Yeah,
came up with different ideas. You can put that in a book, and damn, that's crazy.
yeah. You see,
Yeah, I never thought about it like that.
what we see, we're not seeing the rest of it. We can talk to trees. We can talk to
Mm,
everything. Even our cells, our circadian rhythm is based on this perpetual cycle that it keeps the binding force is music. So see, when you think about the whole thing, when they tell you that humanity exploded out of a chim's butt.
mm,
So it is a very simplistic way of thinking how we all came from one, right? But in
right,
reality, we all came from music, and music. When you sing a song, you have different notes.
right.
So what we see in the sky, all these luminaries, we're seeing water, and that luminaries are the music, the vibration, each note of the whole
Mm-hmm.
orchestra that
Right.
our Heavenly Father is singing. So now, keep in mind that the devil was the one that was the orchestra maestro.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got kicked down here for him to see. Now he has another perspective of that music that is being played above the waters, above the
Above,
dark.
exactly, up on the bottom of above. That's true.
So we have this guy that is so jealous. He was cast down to learn how to play that music that God is playing. That's his punishment. Now he's trying to play us a different song. a song of complete disruption, disconnection of this synchronization of the supernatural. Because when we plugged into the supernatural, start paying attention, for example, to the lunar cycles, start paying attention to the tides, start paying attention to the winds, to the seasons, to the time, how the time is
You are
actually
right.
18 degrees every 72 minutes, you will reconnect. And that is how the war on the consciousness is to, they don't want you to be connected, to be able to navigate the world without just looking at the stars. That's empowering. Telling the time just by looking at the shadows and paying attention to the moon that will actually help you understand your woman, yourself, your place in time. You start understanding all the permanent cycles above the head, and then you start understanding that the devil, the this is his jail. You know, he's here on the dance floor with us, and he's trying to tell us, no, don't play 432 hertz, play 440. Hey, no, we're not living a flat stationary. We live in a spinning, aimlessly ball towards the black hole. You know, very pessimistic. A meteor can hit you up in the ass to destroy you. You know, all of this. And on the other hand, you know, hiding the dome firmament energies. We could harness the dome firmament electrostatic energy and run our phones, our cars, our home, everything with electrostatic
It's like
energy without
impossible to have a
having
conversation with
to
this fucking
perforate our
shit.
beautiful
He's like,
earth.
how do you follow this shit? It's
That's it.
insanity.
All the power that we have is out here on the dome firmament.
I googled Tartaria. Have you ever googled Tartaria?
Yes.
It says it's just a historic region in Asia, and is a blanket term used by Europeans because they didn't have knowledge of the area. Right, they had
Right.
limited knowledge of the area, so they just called it Tartaria.
Right.
So,
But you find Tartaria everywhere in Mexico, in Iran, in India. You find Tartaria language everywhere. It was a global civilization.
well,
Imagine a global
But
civilization.
Renee, but like what the people are saying about Tartaria on YouTube is totally different from what I'm like getting from Wikipedia.
Right. No, because these guys are going through archives in the Vatican. They're going through hidden books. We are reviving what was in Google originally, and Google is censoring a lot of this shit, obviously. And what I'm telling you right here is what I have heard of some of this research. I'm self-employed, so I can hear whatever I want, you know, anytime. And so we have this Tartaria kingdom that, imagine if you go to another world and you are on like a flying carpet that works with electrostatic energy, and depending the shape of the carpet, the whatever you have, actually the symbols that are on the carpet, you can make you levitate. All right, and imagine this: you're approaching the city, you're levitating on some sort of a technology that doesn't need, all you need is your consciousness to where you point, where you want to go, you will go to, and you go to a city that is self-illuminating by the dome firmament, and you go to and that once you arrive in the city, there's abundance everywhere. There's no illness because of the electrostatic energy properties. Ozone creates a perfect environment where the trees are bigger, where the fruits are bigger, there's abundance, there's no disease, there's no mental disease, and no fear of war. There is no polluted water. All the streams are flowing perfectly down the mountains, and everybody's drinking from beautiful, pristine waters, and everybody's happy and dancing with beautiful music, with churches that have nothing to do with religion, that are basically machines, resonance machines, somatics, and everybody has telepathic abilities. And this is the potential that we had, and we could have again.
Sounds like Atlantis or something.
Yeah, this is what it is. This is what they're hiding from us because we are already the supernatural. We're connected to it. We don't need a physical map to navigate the world because the map's on the stars. We don't need a battery attached to our wrist to tell the time because we see the sun, we see the moon, we have a perfect calendar. We have the technology, Earth, right here. Any seed you put on the ground, you grow a beautiful tree, a new papaya tree, new mango tree. We could have international competitions of who grows the most beautiful forests and trees and food forests and who are the healthiest, who are the
Yeah,
strongest, know who can kill the most.
yeah. I always thought if we lived in a normal society, that the society would revolve around like good, clean, healthy food. And it's really weird that our society is just like revolves around poison food. you know, I think that's the big indicator that something's not right and we're being lied to. Is you just look at the supermarkets and all like the fucking poison and shit they put in our food or like our cleaning products, like
Oh shit.
a lot of beauty products to make you like deodorant will have like poisonous chemicals and shit in it, and what kind of like why would we create a world that and then just surround ourselves with poisons like it shows you like there's something not quite right about what's going on, I think.
Well, they stole our future,
It's still,
and
what are
they
you
will
like
continue.
Greta? Greta.
They stole our future. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I shouldn't have
But the
to.
thing is, every day is a good day for a new star. It's just
Hell yeah.
when you know you're in infinity, every day is a perfect day to star. So
I've been
that's the
studying
beauty.
yeah, we are like well, a human being. I've been studying in philosophy. They say a human being is a combination of the infinite and the finite. So it's like
Oh,
we
that's beautiful, man. Where you read that?
I can't remember exactly. I was studying philosophy. I was reading of watching philosophy videos, and
Oh, that's
but that
beautiful, man.
because we have like this infinite soul or like mind or being or whatever, but we're part of like we're a physical experience that's finite as well at the same time. So yeah, it's kind of like a mind fuck.
Have you heard of technology that can transfer your conscious to another body?
Yeah, yeah, that put your consciousness in a computer. Yeah.
Or no, no, not just on a computer, on another actual being.
Oh, like Avatar kind of.
Yeah.
I think the technology the elite have is just like hundreds of years beyond what we know about or whatever in the private sector. So that I think they fool us. They can fool us. Like I think they probably had CGI technology like before we even had cameras. So
But probably Hillary Clinton is just a possessed demon.
probably. Do you think demons are real?
I think somebody demonic is is somebody really upset and contempt all the time. This like that's what I was saying, that the spiritual entity that got cast down here into this realm that we are in. This is us. This is our what we do. We are machines of love too. We can sing. We can be loving. We can hug. We can make babies. That's what we part of the supernatural. These machines. So now they brought in a demon. Garadel. The Bible talks about Eve. Sin with the snake, and it's actually had a baby, which is Cain, and the remnants of those demonic entity that got Eve pregnant, those that legacy is still here on Earth. They're called the Havites, the Havites, and this race, these are the people that you hear on the that are going on with the pedo wars, on all the Pizzagate, and that are actually all of them, because they continue doing the rituals, their satanic rituals of eating a baby, because actually those things can they love actually the pineal gland of a baby.
Everyone's been talking about the endochrome stuff. Like,
Right. Yeah. So that can make you live longer. That is like the anti-aging serum.
huh.
So a lot of these motherfuckers that are fucking with us right now, they're ancient. They're thousands of years old, just like you and I, the Havites, and they're demon possessed. They don't have feelings like you and I, compassionate, love.
I think it's possible. Like, we don't know everything, right? Like, there could be beings exist, like
N-
disembodied intelligence,
You could
consciousness.
test them. You could test them actually. I just realized you could take a heart rate and and you play music at 432 hertz in front of them, and the heart has normal people will come down to 72 beats per minute, and the demonic possessed won't be able to go there to do that. I'm assuming.
I wonder. I wonder. They seem to be obsessed with living forever, but I've been lately. I guess thinking like death isn't so bad. You know, like I would think living forever would be worse than dying. You know,
No, but
like it.
when you're living forever naturally, because for example, they put in our minds that you have to retire at 65. But in reality, we're fractalized. Time is organic, and when you're paying attention to the movement, great movement cycles in the sky, for example, if you are 1 year old in the Aztec world compared to a 1 year old here, it's 52 years. That means if you were born today, your name will be Saturday. And that Saturday, that energy of Saturday, that's why they call it, there's only one Saturday. Over here, we have Saturday every week, every 7 days. But in the Aztec calendar, the real organic time system, when you're born, your name is Saturday, and that will only repeats all the alignments again in another 52 years. So there's a different perception of time, and more like the Russian dolls that there is you and inside of another shelf, and you go through these onion stages, and that's when they talk about giants. It's us. You could become a giant with different perception of time, with a different perception of diet, breathings, control your circadian rhythm and understanding. It's a different paradigm where you could be 900 years old right now.
Makes sense.
And you were born here to have a dynasty, to be a king, to have a queen, to make proclamations,
Yeah,
to propagate your abundance.
They want to lie to us and make us think we're weak, and we're
Right.
actually
That,
strong.
that we need to be exterminated. Oh, we're too many. No, no. You need to start aborting your babies
Yeah,
by law.
that's so crazy how if you like kill a bald eagle egg, you know, you'll go to prison, but you can kill
Yeah.
a human baby, and that's fine. It's fucked up.
Yeah, they grind them down and they put them on your food to back.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I talk about a lot. I'm allocating every other Sunday forever to do street activism here in my area. So we need to have people in your area, in everybody's area, to be committed to give one Sunday every other weekend,
Yeah.
and to tell people the good news that they're already on paradise. They can start building their victory garden and start, you know, learning how to feed themselves in this beautiful stationary flat earth, how to be your own doctor without all that shit, you know. I promote the MMS protocol of Jim Humble.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard that's really bad for you though. I heard it's like bleach.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, that's the people that haven't done any research
Oh really?
who claim shit like that. Yeah. I had pancreatic cancer when I discovered this shit. And a lady that worked for NASA told me about it, one of my clients. She goes, "Fuck, Renee, fuck. Let me take you to my lab." So she took me to her lab, and she goes, "Oh man," she did a microscopic visual analysis, not just a blood test, but a microscopic visual analysis of your blood, where you see exactly what's going on. And she goes, "Yep, that's right, Renee. This is how we cure this. We're gonna balance the pH. As simple as that. As simple as that." So she took made a movie on my thing. She balanced my pH for the next 6 months, and then my blood was perfectly clean, and I had no more pancreatic cancer.
I'm reading MMS. It does not sound good, man. Sounds.
No, it's a control of position, brother.
Is it?
If when you understand, for example, ask those people that talk about vaccines, that that's how that helps. You tell them, okay, so how does the white cells, if this is supposed to be a immune booster, your immune system uses one weapon to destroy the enemy. And you ask them, what is that one weapon? If you're gonna give somebody a boost to load up your guns, obviously you're gonna get more bullets. Assistance is you need the weapons to kill the enemy. So a vaccine doesn't give you the weapons that our body uses to destroy the enemy. Our body uses a gas. The white cell is the one that does the job. The white cell is the one that is digesting the enemy and exploding a gas, hypochlorous acid, to destroy that enemy. So if you, in science, if you truly want to give you a boost to your body, you inject yourself hypochlorous acid to kill the enemy. You don't need to find out what kind of enemy is it, because the white cells uses the same bullet to kill whatever intruder. So you put the same bullets, hypochlorous acid, into your bloodstream to kill the enemy. The same thing your white cells is doing. You start purging all of that. It makes more logical sense. It has nothing to do with bleach. You're bringing more oxygen into your body. And when you really dig into it, you will see how people that have autism is because it's a great oxidizer too. People with heavy metals, uranium and shit like that, getting out of your body. But it's very simple, because what happened is you only have two type of bacteria, the anaerobic and aerobic.